And before this video begins, I'd just like to give a special thank you to my Asban Team level patron, Fallon Cortez. Thank you for supporting the channel. We're getting closer and closer to Doctor Who Series 14, and I have to say I'm really excited with everything we've been shown so far. The trailers are great, the marketing is really good, and I just feel like there's a really positive atmosphere around the show, for the most part at least. Something I really enjoyed was how they revealed all of the titles for the series, using these little artistic clips to show off each title. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of the majority of these titles. Some of them feel a bit too wannabe Black Mirror and like, come on, what's the deal with space babies? That doesn't exactly scream Doctor Who to me. But there was one episode that immediately grabbed my eye, 73 Yards. Out of all the episodes in Series 14, this is definitely the one I'm most interested in and excited for because we barely know what it's even about or what to expect from it. So today I wanted to go through everything we know so far about this mysterious episode and speculate upon what might happen. There will be some filming spoilers, but I'll be sure to preface those when I get to them. So what do we know about 73 Yards officially? Well, not much. Apart from the title, very little has actually been revealed about this episode. We don't even have any specific promo photos like we do with Devil's Cord and Rogue. However, the first thing that got me so excited about 73 Yards was this interview Russell T Davies gave on the Michael Ball show early last year, where the showrunner claimed that the episode is one of the greatest things he's ever made in his life, with director Dylan Holmes Williams agreeing on Twitter, saying he's excited about what they've created. Obviously, I know it's pretty normal for writers to hype up their new project as their best, mainly because it builds more hype than them admitting that it's not as good as something they made before. It's basic marketing. But I really do want to believe Davies, since it's such a specific episode to single out. I also think there's precedent for mid-series episodes being a bit of a high point due to the need to keep audiences interested when ratings sag a little in the middle. When you look at Series 1 and Series 2 for example, which Davies was also showrunner for, you had episodes like Dalek and the Cyberman two-parter, both really great stories serving a pivotal role in those series, setting up the finale. So it's very possible that 73 Yards might have a similar role in Series 14. This really incredible episode setting up a lot of story beats for the two-part finale. The only other thing we officially know is that one of the Series 14 episodes will be a Dr. Light story, due to Ncuti Gatwa's commitments to sex education on Netflix. During the Church on Ruby Road commentary, Davies and Millie Gibson talked about the latter filming a lot of Series 14 scenes without Gatwa. Of course, we don't yet know exactly which story this is, but most people speculate that it's either Boom or 73 Yards. However, I think it's the latter, with the Twitter account Doctor Who Filming Locations claiming that episode 4 was the first episode filmed and Gibson spent large periods filming without Gatwa. So whilst we don't officially know it's a Dr. Light story, it feels like a pretty safe bet by this point. Dr. Light stories are often considered some of the best in the show. Think of things like Blink, Turn Left, Girl Who Waited and Flatline for example. So if 73 Yards is indeed such an episode, that's a really good sign in my opinion and shows that it can really be a standout episode. But even though we don't know much officially about 73 Yards, there is actually a lot we know from filming and set leaks. Of course, this is now heavily spoiler territory possibly, so consider this a warning before we go any further. Okay, so if you're still here, let's dive deeper. According to a lot of set reports, 73 Yards will feature Kate Stewart of UNET, since Gemma Redgrave and Millie Gibson were spotted filming together during Block 1, which we know featured episode 4. At the time, Redgrave claimed that she's only in one episode of Series 14 and didn't work with Ncuti Gatwa, but from trailers, we can already see that's a bit of a porcupine, very naughty. It seems like 73 Yards will be Ruby's first exposure to UNET, allowing her to learn more about the Doctor before they then appear again in the finale. Someone on scene claimed that the scene ended with Kate getting a call and looking to the sky before quickly leaving, with Ruby looking frustrated. During the same filming, there were also a lot of UNIT vehicles, soldiers and apparently snipers, so it seems to indicate some kind of tense standoff or action sequence for the episode. So that's now two pieces of the puzzle, 73 Yards being a Dr. Light episode featuring a lot of UNIT involvement. But what about the antagonist? Or antagonists? A big part of the episode seems to focus on the fictional political party Albion, with a candidate called Roger Ap William, who is branded as the Space Saviour. They did up a whole campaign office and used Cardiff City Stadium to shoot, so it's clear that there's a lot of political thriller elements in 73 Yards, with people already drawing parallels to The Sound of Drums, although I really doubt that for obvious reasons. Also, it's probably a coincidence, but the pitch in Cardiff City Stadium is roughly 73 to 75 yards wide, which is really interesting considering the title, but I'm not sure how exactly that'll be related. Anyway, there's so much to try and unpack from all of this, starting with the year it seems to take place within. There are conflicting set reports suggesting an election year of either 2024 or 2046. Now, the one that makes the most immediate sense is 2024. After all, that's the year of the series being broadcast, and we're already scheduled for a real-world general election this year. And when you add Kurt Angle to the mix and the presence of Millie Gibson outside the campaign office filming, it would lead you to believe that it definitely is 2024, right? Well, actually, not so fast. One of the most striking visuals of the recent Series 14 trailers is this shot of a derelict abandoned TARDIS that looks like it could have been there for decades, maybe, with nature already reclaiming it. So I don't think it's all that out of the realm of possibility for the episode to start in 2024 before seeing Ruby stranded away from the Doctor for up to 20 years, showing an alternate future like a turn left style Doctor Light episode. I think this definitely seems plausible, especially with trailer shots of Ruby maybe looking a little bit older as she sits with the wine. Not sure if she necessarily looks 20 years older, but it's still possible. However, as much as Albion seems ready-made to be a villainous entity, I think it's clear by this point that they're not the main villain of 73 Yards. In the trailers featuring footage from this episode, we can see a mysterious figure lurking in the background. A lot of people are thinking this might be Susan Triad, who seems set to be a big villain of the series. Triad has already been set up as a series-long story arc of sorts, with Mel mentioning it in The Giggle, and a lot of filming has also hinted towards this. Susan Twist, who will play Triad, has actually already appeared as two different characters in Wild Blue Yonder and Church on Ruby Road respectively, and the Sun has claimed that we'll be seeing more seemingly unrelated Susan Twist characters throughout the series. Naturally, this means people think this background figure is also a Susan Twist character, but I'm not so sure. There's some filming images and footage that show this mysterious woman a bit closer up, and she seems very different to Susan Twist. They don't really look that much alike to me. Interestingly enough, there's a scene where it seems like the woman is influencing Ruby's mum as Ruby begs her not to listen to the woman, almost like this villain is a supernatural entity of sorts, able to manipulate Ruby's life. And that's what 73 Yards might be related to. A lot of people are speculating that the mysterious woman might always be that distance from Ruby, following her around like a horror movie or something, maybe creating the whole thing to begin with and somehow puppeting Albion from the shadows. Lastly, one of the most notable parts of 73 Yards seems to be its setting of the, and bear with me here, Why Pren Moi pub. Yes, I know I probably pronounced that dreadfully wrong. For a whole week, the production team filmed at the White Cross Inn, which previously appeared in Tortuous Countryside. This suggests that the pub setting is a really significant part of the episode, and obviously because it's an interior thing, we don't know anything that happened there across the entire week of filming. All we have right now is one shot of Ruby from a trailer, so it'll be really interesting to see what kind of role it plays in the story as a whole. When you translate the pub's in-universe name to English, it comes out as The Dead Wood, which is obviously a really ominous, definitely intentional name. I think it further shows a supernatural atmosphere, with Ruby potentially using it as a place to stay in the immediate aftermath of the Doctor disappearing, before maybe then going back to London to get involved with UNIT and Albion and all that. I expect the mysterious woman is related to either the pub itself or the area it's built within. Otherwise, there probably wouldn't be such an emphasis on the pub sign in the title reveal. I do wonder how the settings will actually work, considering it seems to be split between London and Wales, which is what makes me think it might take place over a longer period of time than episodes usually do, but it's hard to predict either way. And that's something I'm really happy about, not knowing. I can't recall the last time I was so excited for a Doctor Who episode with almost no idea what will actually happen or how. Usually filming leaks, marketing materials or basic guesswork can strip the surprise away from Doctor Who episodes, but we don't have that here. Even in the seemingly reputable leak of Series 14, 73 Yards has almost no information available. It makes it really fun and exciting to look forward to and speculate about. We've got all of these very different plot threads confirmed to be in the same episode, so it doesn't seem nearly as simple as the other stories, because we still don't have the faintest idea of how they actually all fit together. Although now that I'm talking about how excited I am for all this, it makes me realise the last time I got excited on a title alone was Orphan 55. And yeah, we all know how that ended up. So it's important to remain cautiously optimistic and not jump on any hype trains. But with everything we do know, let's try to piece together this jigsaw puzzle and predict what might happen in the mysterious 73 Yards. I did ask you guys on Twitter, but most of you just memed. Except my editor Joey, good lad. So what I and most other people seem to think will happen in 73 Yards is the Doctor and Ruby arriving on the Welsh coast ready for an adventure, only for Ruby to notice a mysterious figure in the distance. Then something happens that makes the Doctor disappear and the TARDIS inaccessible, so Ruby stays in the local pub for a while, regularly returning to the site of the TARDIS to wait for the Doctor to somehow maybe reappear, treating it like a pilgrimage maybe. Ruby then finds herself in contact with Unit, meeting Kate and hoping Unit can help. At some point, the mysterious woman who has been following Ruby this whole time appears to Carla and influences her to be scared of Ruby and abandon her, leaving the companion all alone as she investigates the mysterious political party Albion and the candidate the media is dubbing the Space Saviour, probably due to the influence of the mysterious woman. Ruby then figures out this is all somehow linked together and the Deadwood is the key, somehow overcoming the woman, stopping Albion and then bringing the Doctor back. I think it's safe to say that that's the general structure of the episode, and I would happily lock that stuff in. However, the more risky predictions I'd make would be Ruby being away from the Doctor for many years, living this whole alternate future before somehow reverting it back to normal at the end. Although Ruby would probably retain the trauma of the whole situation, along with setting her up to join Unit in Series 15. I also think the mysterious woman is a supernatural entity designed to show the lasting effects of Wild Blue Yonder's superstition at the edge of the universe. I like to imagine she's gonna be a trickster-esque villain, able to influence timelines and remove entire people from reality, almost playing this game with Ruby despite never actually being able to get close to her for whatever reason. 73 Yards is an endlessly fascinating story to theorise about. There's already a lot to be assumed from the other stories, especially Devil's Cord and Rogue, but 73 Yards is one of the few that remains a true enigma. We know lots of leaked stuff about Boom, and we can easily guess what Dot and Bubble is all about, but outside of the finale, 73 Yards is the most interesting and mysterious episode Doctor Who has had in quite a while. Being a mid-series episode, it will no doubt be very important to the overall storyline, and I'm expecting big things from it due to Davis hyping it up a lot. Doctor Light stories can often be the best of the show because they have to take more risks and try experimenting a lot to, make up for the lack of the Doctor. I think 73 Yards will be a great episode for fleshing out Ruby Sunday as a character and giving Millie Gibson a dark and dramatic story to work with. I don't usually like to do videos covering leaks or set reports, but I just really wanted to talk about 73 Yards now that we have a title to match its mysterious nature. I'm really looking forward to whatever it ends up being. And I'm sure my own prediction was way off the mark because I usually tend to be with these things. I've got this weird level of crazy talk where I can manifest the opposite into reality. But what do you think? What Series 14 episode are you most excited for? And what do you think will happen in 73 Yards? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. And I'd just like to give an extra special thank you to my Asbantium level patron Fallon Cortez, my Diamond level patron Glenna Clark, my Platinum level patrons Matthew Burns and Maximilian Foreman, and all my Gold level patrons Daniel Shillito, Francois Nako Line Vortex, Lee Marie Farrell, Thomas R, and Thomas Price. Thank you so much for your support.